Season 50, War number 5, and we're up against NXT. This time my team will be Maestro, Black Cat and Kate Bishop. I will be taking Path 6 in Section 1, Path 6 in Section 2, and then I will be taking an Iron Man Infinity War, Overseer, Arcade and Kindred mini-boss, along with a spot boss there, using Black Cat. So, quite a weird team this time around, not really the best options for most of these fights, but the bans were what they were, and that resulted in me having to use some less than ideal options. Now starting off here we have a M.O.D.O.K on the combat Deja-Vu prowess and spiked armor nodes, and I'm taking the fight with Black Cat. Black Cat is a tactic attacker, so all I gotta do here is just slowly get to that first clarity, and then M.O.D.O.K's own auto-block as well as the defense tactic is completely shut down. All that's left afterwards is the spike armor node and also the combat Deja-Vu prowess. However, both of those will be shut down by Black Cat's defensive ability accuracy reduction, making this fight essentially nodeless, and well, you can consider this fight the same as fighting a Cyclops. It's the same special 1, and there is no other abilities to worry about. One special 2, a few bleed ticks, the fight is down, and I gotta say, I do miss using Black Cat in war. I've never been able to use her all that much, but she really is a powerful champ. Then we have a Guardian on the aggression prowess and critical setup node, and I'm taking this fight with Maestro. Now again, he is a tactic champion, but so is Maestro, so I just gotta get that first clarity here, and then I'm free to do whatever, and the fight is essentially nodeless again. Now, the Path 6 in Section 1, there's not really any defenders for these nodes that would make this or these fights difficult. Mostly these are just diversity placements at best. So now, usually with Maestro you just wanna get to that special 2 while you have all 3 of his unique buffs active for the 3 fury buffs or passives depending on how long or how far you are in your ramp up, and then when you have the furies, then just spam special 1. The damage is respectable, it's not the best, but he's not weak by any means either. Another thing that Maestro also has going for him is his immunities, which will come into play a little bit later in this war. He's usable, he has his uses, not just for defense. Then we have a Shocker on the prowess build up unblockable, superior specials and whatever else this node had on, and I'm taking the fight with Maestro. Now this one, I wouldn't really recommend it by any means. There's no way for Maestro to shut down the starting auto block with his base kit, so you're just kinda on the mercy of RNG getting to your first clarity, but as soon as you do, then the fight should be fine. Now I'm having horrible RNG against this guy. I already got auto blocked I believe 3 times, one of them was a stun as well, then the evade just keeps triggering, and the chances for that to happen are not that high. I was just having a tough time here, but now with the clarity up, the rest will be simple. It's essentially just baiting and punishing the special 1 over and over, and that's about it. Now usually punishing this guy special 1 is not a good idea. If you're even a tiny bit late, you will get parried, so it is risky. However, with Maestro's glancing, I figured even if I did get parried, a combo or 2 would not kill me, so to speed things up, that's what I did. Then next up we have a Spider-Man here, who is a tactic champion, and I'm taking the fight with Kate Bishop instead of Black Cat. Kate Bishop is not a tactic attacker, so I will need to deal with the auto block manually, but as long as I have the code snapped up, the evade will not be a problem. So this node is the passively special and prowess build up unblockable nodes, and I am using an advanced power boost to get that first special 1 off immediately. And now at this point, the fight is essentially done as long as I can just keep up the code snap. To do that, I'm just baiting and punishing heavy attacks to pause it, as well as hitting his block whenever I can to also keep it paused. Build up power to another special 1 for a second code snap, and now at this point, yeah, he's just done. Fight didn't even last 30 seconds, and that's honestly why Kate Bishop had been getting banned this season every now and then. Didn't happen every war, but it wasn't all too uncommon either, which is usually something that doesn't really happen often, especially considering her not being a tactic champ. Usually the bans for non-tactic champs are reserved for champs like Hercules or CGR, but, well, she's powerful enough to warrant it, I guess. Then we have an Iron Man Infinity War here on the Power Snack and 1 too many hits mini-boss node, and I will be taking the fight with Maestro. Now, Maestro is not Nullify immune, so I will need to deal with the Power Snack node, and, well, that's just gonna make this fight pretty long, since I need to constantly be baiting specials. This is not an ideal matchup by any means, it's gonna take a while to do, but Maestro, he has the damage to be able to do it in the 5 minutes, and since he's tactic champ, the auto block will be dealt with. Well, auto block and the defense tactic in general. Now, I gotta say, I was expecting this fight to go a little bit better than it ends up going, and I don't know, I probably just underestimated Iron Man's tankiness as well as how annoying the Power Snack and Power Stings here would make it. Essentially, to throw my specials I need to wait out the Power Stings, otherwise I'm gonna be taking some damage on them. Though looking back, I probably could have ignored the Power Sting damage for the most part. I can heal with willpower from other Power Stings, and the damage isn't all that high that I should be worried about dying to it. Now at this point I already got the full ramp up. I have my buffs as passives, along with those 3 Fury passes from the special 2 as well, so the Power Snack itself will not be able to hurt my damage here, and to avoid it triggering here I also just end up blocking Iron Man special 1 instead of dexing it. Through my special 1, the damage on that was actually pretty nice, and 1 to 2 more of those and the fight should be done. Now, due to all the special spamming this guy is doing, I am struggling a bit trying to keep up the Clarity passive. It is about to run out before I manage to get a new one, and it has been a bit of a struggle throughout this whole fight just to keep that up. If it does run out, I do need to be careful and go for some parries instead of, well, simply baiting and punishing heavy attacks, for example. Now, he's almost to the power gain phase, which triggers if he's weakened at 15% of his health, which also further makes this fight more complicated and annoying, with more specials I need to bait. And right there I also did run out of the Clarity, so I had to go for a heavy attack to get a new one, and now his AI is being stupid, not allowing me any openings, not throwing specials, so the Clarity is almost already out as well. We have hit the power gain phase, I had to wait out those armor ups, still got the Clarity up in time so I can avoid the auto block here. Few more hits in, I should have thrown that special 1 and just been done with it, but I guess saving the health is not a bad idea either. I'm cornered, needing to bait and avoid these specials, though I did mess up the dex a little bit there and got hit. Did have the advanced power boost active for some of it, but not all, so after all of that, my best efforts of not taking much damage, I ended up taking some anyways, and I will need to use some potions, which is just wonderful. Honestly, I'm just happy that the fight is done at this point. Not my favorite, and I'm not gonna be taking that one again, that's for sure. And then we have an Overseer here on the high energy diet, and what else? High energy diet and Burden of Might mini-boss node, that's the one. Yeah, okay. And I will be taking this fight with Black Cat. Overseer, tactic champion, but so is Black Cat, so as long as I get the Clarity up, there's nothing he can do to me. And since Black Cat does not have any buffs in her own kit, the burden of Might node should not be a problem. All of her damage is also physical or direct damage with the bleeds, so the high energy diet is not an issue. Now, I'm trying to get my special 2 here without triggering decks at all. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite do that. Normally against this guy it's not too bad, but with the AI doing weird things, I just couldn't get there. But it's fine, I did manage to climb up before the heist ended, got the sabotage up, and now I'm gonna be shutting the auto-block here. And every single time I do so, I trigger the damage from the sabotage debuff, as well as pause all of my bleeds and the sabotage itself, allowing me to just melt the rest of his health bar with those crit bleeds on the special 2. The fight was not bad at all, honestly, and I'm a little bit surprised by the placement as well. There are plenty of skilled champions within the tactic, and most of them don't need to worry about the burden of Might node at all, nor the high energy diet, so that's an odd one, not sure why that was there. Then next up we have an arcade on the aggression prowess and hazard shift, incinerate and poison miniboss node, and I'm taking the fight with Maestro. Now this is where his immunities come into play. He is immune to poison, shock and incinerate, so the hazard shift node here simply doesn't exist for me, and well, actually no, I lied, it does exist, and triggering immunities does also ramp up Maestro faster, if I remember correctly, so that does help me quite a bit here. And now Arcade, being a tactic champ, once again, all the auto-block and evade will be shut down with the clarity charges, and the fight, as you can see, it's not difficult at all. Just get him to a special 2, bait it, don't block the final hit, and that's all there is to it. It's been a minute, he's basically dead at this point, and yeah, after that Iron Man fight, this one was a lot better. 1 minute, well, almost exactly a minute, fight is done, and I know it was only a 6-star arcade, but still, that's not bad for a champion that was kinda built to be a defender. Another defender completely shutting them down like that. It's nice, and Maestro, as I said earlier, he has his uses, he's not horrible on attack. Then we have a Kindred on the combat issue prowess and conflictor miniboss node, and I will be taking the fight with Kate Bishop. Now, Kate does not shut down Kindred in any meaningful way. The main thing here is that the cold snap on Kate Bishop's specials is not a debuff, so conflictor node is not really a problem, and that's like the main reason why I'm doing this. The other is that I'm fairly comfortable using Kate Bishop and using her specifically against Kindred's animations. I just gotta keep baiting and punishing that special 1, keep the infestation charges paused, and that way I will never have to deal with the degeneration. Now there was one tiny mistake that I did, which made this fight a lot scarier than it needed to be, and that was forgetting an advanced power boost. I was meant to use one here, I had planned for it, but I just, going into the fight, I completely forgot about it after checking the pre-fight stack, and yeah, that just means that I'm gonna be sitting in this fight longer, and the longer you fight Kindred, the more things can go wrong. But luckily I have managed to do this fight so far properly, and I did manage to save a special just in time for the root phase as well, and I did manage to do the fight without, well, dying or getting close to it. Now next up we have the final fight of the war, a spot boss that I will be taking with Black Cat. And this guy is a tactic champion, meaning I need to get the clarity up as soon as possible at the start of the fight. To do that you should be just baiting and punishing his heavies with your heavy, but for some reason I didn't do that, I just didn't think of it, I guess, and getting the clarity up, or trying to do that with basic attacks, I get auto-blocked and stunned, which caused me to take a combo. That in itself is fine, I got my special 2 clarity up, got the sabotage up, and now I think I'm completely in the clear, but Sabotage will not shut down the spot gain on the portal block, which I assumed it did, and I just hit into his block 4 times, which gave him 4 spots. Now he's at 5 with that special one, and my sabotage is almost over. If it runs out, I will need to deal with the untouchable, so I do something weird here. During his special one animation, I attempt to hit him with a light attack, and what that does is it causes the untouchable to fail due to the ability accuracy reduction, which then paused the sabotage debuff. If I hadn't done that, it would have expired by now. I would have been in my corner, and he would have the untouchable ready to go, which would be bad news all around. So throwing that light attack, improvising on the spot, is what saved me. And I managed to actually get the solo here. Definitely not the way you're supposed to take the fight, but I got it done, so I can't complain about it. As for the result, we did end up winning the war, 6-2.